One single image, black and white, grainy, silent. An image so powerful that it unlocked the secret of life itself. This photograph would change medicine, change biology, change the future of humanity. And yet, the person who captured it was erased, not forgotten by accident, erased on purpose. So here's the question no textbook wants you to ask. How did the most important scientific image of the 20th century destroy the life of the person who created it? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear rewrites the story of DNA forever. This story begins in the middle of the 20th century, time of rapid scientific progress, but also rigid hierarchies, closed doors, and invisible lines no one was supposed to cross. Universities were dominated by men, laboratories by power, and credit by politics. Somewhere inside a cold research lab, a young scientist was working in near isolation, studying something so small, it defined every living thing on Earth. She didn't know it yet, but her work would become the foundation of modern genetics, and she would never receive the credit. Inside a darkened laboratory, a beam of X-rays passed through microscopic fibers. Hours of preparation, weeks of failed attempts, months of silent obsession. Then, an image appeared. Not a blur, not noise. A pattern. Clear, precise, terrifyingly perfect. A photograph revealing order where scientists believed there was chaos. This image showed structure, symmetry, a repeating design. And instantly, one thing became obvious. This was the key to understanding life itself. But something was wrong. Because the person who created this image was not invited into the room where history would be written. She worked alone, not because she wanted to, but because she was pushed there. Her lab was cold, her equipment outdated, her authority constantly questioned. Colleagues dismissed her precision as difficult, her discipline as arrogant, her brilliance as uncooperative. But what they called difficult was rigor. What they called arrogance was accuracy. And while others speculated, she measured. While others guessed, she proved. And that terrified them. Because she wasn't just close to the answer. She already had it. She refined the process, improved the diffraction technique, eliminated noise, perfected alignment, again and again and again, until the data stopped arguing. The photograph revealed a repeating cross-shaped pattern, a B mathematical signature. It pointed to something revolutionary. Not a random molecule, not a static structure, but a helix. A shape that could replicate, store information, correct itself. The implications were staggering. This structure explained inheritance, mutation, evolution. It explained why you look like your parents, why diseases pass through generations, why life continues. She wrote it down, documented everything, careful, precise, unassailable. But then, without her knowledge, the image left the lab. While she continued refining her research, others were talking behind closed doors, meetings she wasn't invited to, discussions she wasn't part of. Her photograph, the most important image in modern biology, was shown to people she had never approved. And those people instantly understood its power. They didn't ask permission. They didn't ask questions. They took it. And if you want to explore more stories like this, stories where world-changing discoveries were buried or stolen, I've placed carefully selected books and research tools in the description. There whenever you're ready, because what happens next is the moment history fractures. Using her photograph and her unpublished data, two scientists built a model, a double helix. Elegant, beautiful, correct. The world celebrated them. They published first. They spoke louder. They controlled the narrative. And when the Nobel Prize was awarded for the discovery of DNA's structure, only their names were called. By then, the woman who took the photograph was already dead. Her name? Rosalind Franklin. She never knew her work had been used without consent. She never had the chance to defend her contribution. She never stood on that stage. The photograph, known today as Photo 51, became the most famous image in biology. And for decades, her name was barely mentioned. DNA changed everything. Modern medicine, genetic testing, cancer research, forensics, biotechnology. Entire industries exist because of that discovery. Every time a disease is traced to a gene, every time a life is saved through genetic research, it traces back to that image, her image. Yet textbooks reduced her to a footnote, a supporting character, a contributor, not the architect, not the pioneer, not the mind that made it possible. Years later, letters surfaced, notes were examined, archives reopened, and the truth became undeniable. Without her data, there is no double helix. Without her photograph, there is no DNA model. Without her work, the discovery collapses. Today, scientists openly admit it. Historians correct the record, institutions slowly rewrite the story. But the damage was already done. She didn't live to see the recognition. She didn't hear the applause. She only had the work and the truth. History doesn't always remember the ones who change the world. Sometimes it remembers the ones who speak the loudest. But brilliance doesn't need permission. And truth doesn't disappear forever. Because sooner or later, every stolen discovery finds its way back to its rightful mind. And Rosalind Franklin didn't just photograph life, she revealed it.